Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Gemma and today I'm going to be reviewing Some People Need Killing, a memoir of murder in my country by Patricia Evangelista. So, this book has very recently been nominated for the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction, and I did actually predict it. So I was really keen to get to it. It's also available on Everand. If you have Everand, it's a great subscription service. I'll leave a link below. And yes, I was really looking forward to it. So this book documents the regime of Rodrigo Duterte in the Philippines and a bit before as well. So if you are unfamiliar, like I was, Rodrigo Duterte took over as president of the Philippines, and he had a very aggressive stance on the war against drugs. So what I really liked about this book was it gave us the layout to why Duterte got voted in. There was a lot of drug crime, the country didn't feel very safe, and along comes this guy with balls as big as mangoes, and he's like, mate, no, I'm not going to stand for this, I'm going to cut all this drug stuff out, everyone's going to feel safe walking in the streets, and thus he got elected. However, his mango-like kahunas proved somewhat problematic when he just gave free rein to the police to kill whoever they wanted. And I laugh, but it reads almost like a horror novel in places. It's very, very difficult to believe that this is real life, that someone is allowed to get away with the level of human rights infringement. Seems like not a strong enough word, but someone who can crap all over people's human rights to the level that Duterte did. Patricia Evangelista herself is Filipino. She grew up in the Philippines. She came of age under the regime of the Marcos. And so she has a very different perspective to a lot of the Western world, right? Because that was her home. She grew up there. She knows the problems. And over the course of about 30 years, she interviews a plethora of people, from victims, families of victims, police, people who were staunch Duterte supporters, and amalgamates all of this information into a narrative non-fiction format. This was very, very accessible. It was very readable, though Evangelista did talk about politics, obviously, because it's a massive theme in this book. At no point did I sort of feel lost in that. I felt it was very educational. I learned a lot. One of the criticisms that I would have of this is that Evangelista does write in a very journalistic tone. It's a very detached sort of way of writing, and just personally, I'm a very emotional reader. I like to feel the emotions, but obviously, given her job, she works in war zones, and she has to detach herself from that and also present a somewhat unbiased view or an honest view, and not get caught up in that emotion. So you kind of have that level of detachment, which was clearly a creative choice on the part of Evangelista and her publisher and editor, but it just took away from the impact slightly for me. I also found the sheer volume of violence quite numbing. It would go through one specific case of death, and then another case of death, and another case of death. And I found after a while I felt numbed to it, which I guess is probably how the people felt to a degree, and also is part of the point, but I didn't like that in myself. you know. So those are really my only criticisms. I think if you have any interest in, well, politics, current events, current affairs, then this is really, really going to be a book for you. If you are interested in learning more about other countries, then again, this is going to be for you. And yeah, I'm really, really glad that I read it. I'm really glad that it had been longlisted for the Women's Prize, because I do think that it's an important book that a lot of people will gain a lot from. So those are my rambly thoughts on the first of the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction books that I have read. I will keep the reviews coming as and when I get to them. If you're interested in following both the non-fiction and the fiction prize for the Women's Prize, then hit me a subscribe. If you just want to let me know you're here, give me a thumbs up and a little comment in the comment box. I don't know why that was hard to say. Or just an emoji. Just give me, like, I don't know, any emoji that you feel appropriate for this topic. Also, if you would like to be more interactive around the Women's Prize, I do run the Women's Prize Plodalong along with my lovely co-hosts Alice from Alice on the Giant Bookshelf and Charlie at Charlie Book Reads, where we, throughout the Women's Prize season, will be interviewing various booktubers and reacting to the various stages of the Women's Prize longlist, shortlist and winner. So if you want to come along, chat to us, we will be live every 10-ish days to fill you in on what we think and what's going on, and we'd love to hear your thoughts too. So both of those ladies are linked below, and the next live is actually tonight. We will be talking about the Women's Prize for Fiction longlist on Charlie's channel at 8 o'clock, and we would love to see you there. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to see a book that I think may be nominated for the Women's Prize for Fiction, I will leave my review for Julia by Sandra Newman here, and I will see you all very soon with another one. Bye guys!